Yes, people, big up to all of you, and welcome back to another. I have to fix my camera. I hope you can still hear me. Welcome back to another show on Chester Perspective. On today's show, we will, while we wait for the international break to be over, we will take some time to start rating each of the Chelsea players' performances. Yet to see how well they've done so far. How many weeks? We're 13 weeks into. No, after week 12, so to speak. After week 12, we'll take our time to analyze the performance of each of our Chelsea players and rate them on a scale of 1 to 10. But more importantly, I hope you're doing well. Sit back, relax, and let's get into the show without wasting your time. We have just one news item to address, and after that, we get into the show proper. So sit back, once again, relax, and let's get into the show. Yes, people, once again, welcome back to Just Perspective. I hope you're all doing well. As always, I say good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. I hope you're all doing well. As I said before, we have just one news item to address, and after that, we get straight into looking at the overall Chelsea statistics. See which player, what player is stopping what department, and then from there we start rating the players one by one from the goalkeeper and up. I don't think we'll be able to get everything done today. Probably a few players because we have to analyze, talk about how well the player has done so far. But that's, by the way, I hope you're all doing well. Keep dropping the likes on the stream. We have just 6 likes. We should be doing better than that. Let's get into it without wasting much of your time. That's not where we should be right now. Here, this is the first news item I want us to address. This says Ivan Toney, and that's today actually. It's saying Ivan Toney demanding a release clause in talks over a new Brentford contract, and that's by 90 minutes. That via FOTMob, the app I'm using on the screen here. So it says Arsenal and Chelsea have both held talks with Toney's representatives over a transfer. Brentford's asking price is rumored to be over £80 million, likely to block January exit. Striker remains contracted to Brentford until 2025. So he has just about, you can say, 2 years left on his contract. And the fact that he's asking for a release clause to be added to the new contract that they're trying to get him to sign means that he wants to stay. He's really not pushing to leave the club. But let's see what happens. I'm quite sure it's going to be something ridiculous because Brentford clearly must be aware of the fact that Chelsea are interested in signing him, and Arsenal are also interested in signing him. But that's, by the way, I'm going to say hello to those in the chat. Big up to you, Vic. Always nice to see you, Vic. I hope you're doing well. Jerry, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for finding the time to join this afternoon. For me, I know it's morning for some people and evening for some people. £80 million for Toney at 28, even in the summer, that's not going to happen. I think I agree with you. That will never happen. I don't see Chelsea paying a premium for Ivan Toney. It's a risk also. I get it. We might have forgotten about that debate. You can see that conversation we had with regards to his gambling habit. I think it was Bobby that said something to the effect of the fact that he's not getting any younger. The fact that at his age right now, his priority will be to make sure he has he secures his future retirement plan, which means that the risk of him getting involved in gambling is very high, given the fact that he's not 16. He's not young anymore. But that's, by the way, we move on from that. I think that's it. That's the only news item we have lined up for today. And straight up, I'll get into looking at every department from top scorer, assists, goal plus assist, Forget about FOT mob rating. We go goals per 90 minutes, expected goals, that's XG, expected goals per 90 minutes, expected goals on target, shots on target, shots per 90 minutes, accurate passes per 90 minutes, big chances created, accurate long balls per 90 minutes, and all that nitty gritty there. Before we start rating the players one by one. Yeah, let's see. Number one, a top scorer, Nicolas Jackson, 6 goals in total. We will be going with just the top 3 for each department. We're not gonna be going with you can say expanding the whole thing. It's going to make it even more tedious than it should be. And hello to you too, Kim. So I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. So the first one, top scorer, Nicolas Jackson with 6 goals, followed by Raheem Sterling, 4 goals, Cole Palmer, 4 goals, all from the spot. Correct me if I'm wrong. So Nicolas Jackson, no surprise there. Assist Conor Gallagher with 4, Cole Palmer 2, and Malagus to 2. I think if we expanded, I think we'd have another player with 2 assists. I think is it Raheem Sterling? I'm not too sure. Goals plus plus assists, that doesn't really make sense. In total, it is no need looking at this because Nicolas Jackson has just 6. And no need looking at it because we still go back to looking at the assist numbers. We've already looked at the assist numbers in total. So this you can say this column, or you can say this card here, this card right here is irrelevant in my opinion. Goals per 90 minutes, Nicolas Jackson 0.64 per 90 minutes. That's impressive, even though he's been wasteful in front of goal. But I think we're seeing improvement, and he's high on confidence right now. I hope he continues in that direction. Long may that continue, as my friend Mikhail may say. Cole Palmer 0.60 per 90 minutes. Mihailo Mudryk 0.49 per 90 minutes. If you ask me off the top of my head, I think that Raheem Sterling would topple Mihailo Mudryk in this department. But you can say, yeah, because he hasn't played that much and has scored how many goals in total? I think 2 in total. Then expected goals. Nicolas Jackson has 7.8. That's a lot. Followed by Cole Palmer 4.9, in Raheem Sterling 3.1. XG per 90 minute, Nicolas Jackson tops that also with 0.83 goals per XG per 90 minutes. Cole Palmer 0.73 per 90 minutes. Ian Martin, who hasn't actually played that much, has 0.47 expected goals per 90 minutes. Wow. He's a threat, in my opinion. That's, you can say, that's a reflective of the fact that he carries goal threat. Expected goals on target per 90 minutes. That is Nicolas Jackson toppers that with 7.0. Cole Palmer 5.6. Cole Palmer, he's quickly moving up the ladder, in my opinion. Raheem Sterling 4.1, always there. And let's see what Average Joe has to say. Totally agree with you that we don't need a Tane. Osimhen is a much better option. I think I agree with that, even though I have my concerns, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Based on his age, stats, and no gambling addictions. Also, Gallagher is a beast. Nobody can take that away from him. I'd say right now he's not my favorite Chelsea player, but the truth remains, numbers don't lie. Even before the numbers, I'd say he's been one of you could say the most improved player at Chelsea right now, and the manager's most important player this season so far, given what we've seen and what we've known, what we know right now. Shots on target. I think we've looked at that one. And shots upon 90 minutes, Nicolas Jackson 3.5, Cole Palmer 2.8, Ian Mason 2.5. And you can say this, yes, then Nicolas Jackson, as wasteful as he's been in front of goal, the truth remains that the signs are good. He's done everything right, except be clinical. And please, if you're joining, if you own a YouTube channel, feel free and you're a moderator to share the link to your channel whenever you get a chance. And if I have the energy to read it out to people, I will do that. And big up, Mitchell Boy, nice to see you. I hope you're doing well. Always nice to see you, brother. Thank you so much for finding the time to join. You know what to do. Let's see what else we have here. Big chances created. Have we looked at that? Okay, shots per 90 minutes, Nicolas Jackson. Accurate passes per 90 minutes, Axel Disasi, 77.2%. But here's the thing, there's a caveat to that. You could argue most of it, you could say, let's say that's 72.2%, 0.2 of accurate passes per 90 minutes. The truth remains that you could say 80 to 90% of that probably safer option passes, like sideways and backwards, followed by Thiago Silva. Same thing. I would argue the same thing for them. Maybe Enzo Fernandez, more progressive than that too. He finds passes along short, but he always progresses the ball one way or the other. And we see big chances created. Cole Palmer, 5 in total. Wow. Reece James, that hasn't played that much, 5 in total. That shows you how much of a good player he is. Conor Gallagher, 4 in total. Give the man some credit there, in my opinion. And the squiggly man is in the house. Big up to you, brother. Tell me, please, can you tell me something to call you and not call you the squiggly man? A big up to all of you, from Jerry C to Josie Mitchell Boy. If you have a YouTube channel, you know what to do. And then when I get to it, I will rate it out. And yep, Squiggle Man is in the house. Appreciate you finding the time to join. Squiggle Man, much love to you. Let's see, chances created. Conor Gallagher, 19 chances in total, with Raheem Sterling followed by 15 chances. Cole Palmer, 14. Here's the thing, I'm going to say this again. Gallagher isn't my favorite Chelsea player, but boy, he's improved significantly and can only get better. And I was one of those preaching it would be a smart move for him to stay. And when he was saying that he wants to stay and play on the Mauricio Pochettino, I was one of those that was saying at the time, that's the right choice. And if any manager is capable of helping him reach his potentials, the manager, that manager is Mauricio Pochettino. And boy, we're seeing the results. He's improved even more than I anticipated he will improve, and he can only get better. The most important thing I like his commitment to Chelsea, in my opinion. More importantly, chances created, 19 in total from him. Accurate long balls, no surprise there. Enzo Fernandez was 5.2 per 90 minutes. Thiago Silva, 4.3 per 90 minutes. Moises Caicedo, 3.5 per 90 minutes. Expected assists on Cole Palmer, 1.9. Raheem Sterling, 1.8. Enzo Fernandez, 1.5. Cole Palmer, he's quickly climbing up the ladder of stats at Chelsea. And I'm not surprised. I've always known he's a fine player. And expected assists per 90 minutes. Ben Chilwell, who hasn't played for a while, 0.38. Cole Palmer, 0.28. Mihailo Mudryk, 0.24. And let's move on to that. Successful dribbles, even though he's been awful. Raheem Sterling, who after every game, as well as he's been doing of late, one thing that he will always be poor at is dribble. Whenever you check his dribble stats, dribble success percentage, it's always below 40%. If he gets to 50, then he was great at dribbling on the day. So that shows you how poor we've been in terms of beating our man. Raheem Sterling tops that. If he tops that, then we have a problem in that department. 2.6. Nicolas Jackson, 2.0. Mihailo Mudryk, 2.0. Big chances missed. Yeah, shocking, right? Nicolas Jackson has missed 8 in total. Raheem Sterling has missed 4. Cole Palmer has missed 3. Wow. Penalties awarded. Raheem Sterling tops that for us. Amanda Broya, 1. Enzo Fernandez. Which one was that? That of Enzo Fernandez? I can't quite remember. Amanda Broya was during the last game. And for Raheem Sterling, I can't remember what games into. I think once was one. Which one? I can't, but no need for it. Successful tackles per 90 minutes. Leslie Ugochukwu, 3.1. He hasn't played that much. And 2.4, followed by Marc Cucurella by 2.4. Wow, that's not bad. Ian Matson, 1.7. Not bad at all. Interceptions per 90 minutes. Ian Matson has 1.7. Conor Gallagher, 1.6. Not surprising there. Marc Cucurella, 1.3. Not surprising. Nothing shocking there. And the clearances per 90 minutes, the maestro himself, you can say the most intelligent defender I've ever known Honestly, I don't see anybody else, any defender more intelligent than him. Thiago Silva, 3.8 clearances per 90 minutes. Axel Disasi, 2.9 per 90 minutes. And Levi Colwill, 2.6 per 90 minutes. Not bad. And blocks per 90 minutes, Thiago Silva leads that also, followed by Axel Disasi and Moises Caicedo. Okay, penalties considered. One, we know that. Marc Cucurella against Manchester City, and Moises Caicedo, I think that was against West Ham United. Possession one in the final third. I got to give Cole Palmer credit. Here's the thing. Here's why I'm saying that. Because usually the most technically gifted players aren't as hardworking, in my opinion, as those that aren't. But Cole Palmer, he's hardworking. He's also technically gifted. He's also an intelligent player. You can say he's an all-round player, has everything, in my opinion. And yeah, on two occasions, his ball, possession. He's helped us score 2 goals by winning possessions, possession in the opposition areas. That one was against we won 3-0 or 3-1 in that particular game. And the other one I can't quite remember, but he's good at it. Conor Gallagher, no surprise there, 1.7. Raheem Sterling 1.3. Clean sheets, yeah, only one. He's competing with himself literally at this point. But we will come back when we get to each player. We'll come back and look at that player's individual stats to see how well they're doing. So let's start. Rating. We'll start by Robert Sanchez. We'll start with Robert Sanchez there. We will go again. We will go with you can say most likely starting 11 to rate them so far after week 12. Bobby, big up to you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. I hope you're doing well.
Yeah, big up, Coach. Is it just you and me again? That's a privilege.
Nice to see
I
you.
have my brother Roger in the background there. I can't see any images.
No, Roger. Just you and I at this point. Probably Mitchell Boy has drained the life out of Roger.
Roger. No, it's all good. I'm
Yeah, it's
here
all
for
good. It's
you.
all good. I understand. People are busy and bills don't pay themselves, so I totally understand. I was just 1 second. I was spot on when I was screaming Gallagher to play at 10. But you, coach, underestimated my opinion. I did underestimate your opinion. In my opinion, from what I know Gallagher very well. I think he'd do better than us on the flanks. Yeah, he's done well as a 10 so far. Do I think that's a position he will continue to play for us? No. I think he's going to be moved to the flanks sometimes or even deeper positions. The most important thing is that he's improving, and he's proven a lot of people wrong. So I'll stick with that. By the way, Ugochukwu tackle per 90 minutes is a second in the league and at 100% success rate. That's excellent, really. Let's see what else we have here. Roger has taken a sabbatical. Yeah, he has to. He's a human being. Bobby, let's talk about Robert Sanchez. And don't worry, we'll get to your boy Conor Gallagher. And believe me, I'll sing him praises too. Because yeah, he's surprised a lot of people. Even I didn't know he will. You can say he will improve as much as he's done so far. But I knew if any manager is capable of helping him reach his potentials, that the perfect manager will be Mauricio Pochettino. But let's talk about Robert Sanchez. How would you rate his performance so far for Chelsea? Let's hear you.
His performances so far will give him a 6, simply because he's been improving towards I would say in the last 2 games, maybe a bit of the third game.
Mm-hmm.
But his performances in the last 2 games have been has left us with a certain measure of confidence that he can continue to improve. So Robert Sanchez, his journey has just started at Chelsea. He's showing he has the capacity to improve further. And yet again, first season, no preseason. I wouldn't say a protracted and difficult transfer, but I would say a shall I say a delayed transfer, which was
Mm-hmm.
a distracting transfer. That's the word I'm looking for. A transfer that uh, that left him somewhat distracted. So he needs settling in time. That's the word. Just
Yeah.
like everybody else in the team. So I give him a 6.
For me, I'd give him. Honestly, I'd give him a 7. Here's why, and I think you alluded to that already. Um, he didn't have preseason with us and hadn't played for a while for Brighton before we signed him. And you could say him becoming our number one goalkeeper was premature. And that was down to the departure of Kepa Arrizabalaga. Had that not been the case, I think could have taken him a while before getting the chance to gut the stick for us, even in the cup games. I'll give him, honestly, from what I've seen, you know, we had these conversations of between like week 1, 2, 3 into the season. We knew we did talk about it and we realized, you know what? Yeah, I think he's in his preseason at the time. That it would take him time because he hadn't played for a while at the time, and plus didn't have preseason with us, and he's showing he's improved significantly, which means he's had his preseason. He's regained match form. Some stops he's made. You can argue are the reason why we haven't lost. We didn't. We could say we haven't lost more than the games. A number of games we've lost already. I think he's brilliant. His high claim. The only complaint I have, in my opinion, is just he's not that much of a sweeper keeper. And the fact that we play with a high line, we need a keeper that you can say capable of reading the game very well and know when to get off their line immediately to come help or save a situation. But I think he seemed to be a bit reluctant getting off his line. Maybe that will improve with time. He's improved other aspects. His distribution, I must say, still questionable, especially the long balls. He's improved in terms of keeping it close and on the carpet. Let's look at his statistics here. Bobby, if you're paying attention, here says a long ball accuracy, 71%, not bad. Sweeper action, 69%. You can say that's still poor. He needs to be near perfect in that department, in my opinion. Goals conceded, 75%, 68 save percentage. Not bad. I think that will still improve. High claim, 61%. And this here is saying and clean sheets is 61%. So let's go into more detailed stats here. Saves, 35 in total. Save percentage is 68.6. Not bad. It's turned green already. Goals conceded, 16, which is poor. Goals prevented, minus 1.30. Yeah, there are questionable, you can say, attempt from him. You can say his early days as a Chelsea player, he started live at Chelsea. We were questioning whether he could have stopped certain, you could say, some goals he considered. Should have stopped, maybe. Penalties faced, 2, stopped none. Penalties saves, 0. Errors leading to goal, 1. Acted as a sweeper 9 times. And I still think he's not done it enough. Probably because maybe I'm not paying attention. 9 times, that's a lot in 12, you could say, in 12 matches or so. Let's say at least 11. He's played more than 12 matches for us, in my opinion. High claims, 12 in total. Distribution, pass accuracy, 80%, not bad. And I think the more the team becomes rehearsed, the more he's you can say the less it misplaced passes because they know where to wait for him to find them or with an accurate ball. Accurate long balls, 57 in total. Long ball accuracy, 46.0%. I think that's poor. Discipline, 1 yellow card. Not bad. He's done well, and you can say I'm not going to complain too much because he's proven that he's improving by each game. And he's become even better for us. So let's see you, Jersey. Do you have anything to add to that? And welcome to the panel, by the way. I hope you're doing well. I appreciate you finding the time to join. And we have to rewrite your credential. That's what I call it, so that when I add your information in the description section, you will include the link to your YouTube channel. Bobby, you were going to say something?
Yeah, I was about Robert Sanchez.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm always slightly cautious about the optics of a goalkeeper, simply because what the mind remembers are either fantastic saves or horrendous mistakes that lead to goals. So goalkeeping optics can be deceptive, and I don't think they will give Robert Sanchez enough fairness. Look, Robert Sanchez is, as far as I'm concerned, an example of a keeper that is getting used to the rhythm of the team. Now, some people will argue that doesn't happen with all goalkeepers. No, it doesn't, because a lot of goalkeepers come into a team that is, if it's not a settled defense, it is a defense that is that are not strangers to each other.
Hmm.
When Mendy came to Chelsea, he came to a defense that, though not settled yet, but was settled eventually by Tuchel, they were not complete strangers to each other like this defense is, or indeed this entire team is. So you're right in one sense that a lot of the things he's doing with his distribution will come when the team are used to him and he's used to the team. One thing I tend to have confidence in Robert Sanchez about is his shot stopping. And I think because he is such a good shot stopper, he will probably be a slightly above penalty saver as well. The best penalty saver I think we've had in a long time was Kepa. Kepa was the best in terms of being a sweeper keeper,
Yeah,
and he
that
was
was
the
his thing.
best. Yeah, and he was the best in penalty saving. So, Kepa was a very good is a very good goalkeeper. The problem with him is his height deficiency, which is something he can do nothing about, but which hurts him every time, especially in a tough league like the Premier League, where the keeper has to be physical, come out, collect balls, and that sort of thing. He was very deficient there.
Hmm.
So Robert Sanchez, the jury's still out, and I think he needs time. And in a way, the time he takes to bed in may help Petrovic a bit because it will give Petrovic some settling in time and up his game. So the competition for the number one spot at Chelsea, I think, is hotting up and it is probably going to be quite fierce. We need to see more of Sanchez and then eventually see Petrovic, and eventually we'll find our number one.
Hmm. I think I agree with you. Right now he's competing with South, but let's help him, give him time to settle in properly. Then we'll start talking about Petrovic. But that needs to happen as soon as possible, in my opinion. Roger has taken a sabbatical. Bobby, did you see Roger versus just just as a face-off over Gallagher like high noon? I didn't see that. I hope they behaved maturely, just present their argument and counter argument. Mitchell, boy, big up to you, Vic. Vic, nice to see you. I am doing great. Just responding tonight, but let's say you, Jerry. I appreciate you finding the time to join, and please reach out as soon as you can so we can change your credentials. So to be reflective of the fact that you own a YouTube channel, so people can always go check it out, and you will be mentioned, and you will actually get a notification that Chelsea Perspective mentioned you. But before you speak, quickly, shot pass completion of a Sanchez is 98%. Yep. And did you hear when I said in terms of the, keeping it on the carpet and keeping it close, that he's improved in that significantly. The long ball, which I actually thought that was something he was better at, he's proven, you can say, to be his Achilles heels. Maybe that will improve with time. The team average is 90%, of long balls of 46%, and the team's average is 56%. He needs to work on the long ball distribution. Yeah, that was actually something I thought he was good at. It turns out he was better at keeping it close and on the carpet. I think with time, maybe as the team becomes more rehearsed, I think his long balls accuracy will improve. But Jerry C, let's hear you, brother. What do you make of Robert Sanchez's life at start to life at Chelsea so far? Because you could still call it start to life, because we just the most he's played, I think, 14 games if you're adding the cup games. But let's hear you.
Good evening, coach.
Big up, big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. The
Wow,
Boogard
wow.
analysis, Jerry C
Big up,
is in the house.
Jerry.
What
Big up
an
to you, brother.
great energy, man. Great energy.
Let's
Hello,
hear
Bobby.
you.
How are you doing?
Much love. What do you make of his
Man,
performance so far, or his start to
the
life at
energy and the
Chelsea?
love is second to none, man. I really appreciate it.
Much love,
So,
brother. Much
so
love.
yeah,
I get the same from you.
it's. I mean, we can look into that in a couple of ways, right? First of all, when we analyze, again, we have to see if we just go and check the stats and see some performances and make a conclusion, then I don't think so. It will be like, it will make sense or it will be authentic because, again, this is a little bit different situation. He didn't have a preseason, right? So we also have to take this into consideration. Once we take that into consideration, then everything will fall into its place. Now, if we, of course, we have discussed about him before this discussion as well in the previous episodes as well. So, just one example, right on the screen, I can read short pass completion is 98%, which looks terrific, right? But then we have to say, because this is in key area, sorry, of a goalkeeper, because it's not about 98% or 2% that he didn't make the completion right, but the four instances where he was not able to pass. Okay, we were hurt once by Arsenal, but the other three were also like we could have been punished. So the thing is, when you're passing or playing from the back, passing, you're making the short passes. So the 4 or 5, I don't remember exactly, maybe at least it was 4 if not 5 times that he had a terrible pass or his judgment was not correct. If you compare that to other goalkeepers in the same games, they have, of course, I have not checked all these stats. I have not watched all the Premier League games, but I can safely say that there might be one or two, maybe if they are, who had made so many mistakes. And let me be clear, I'm not criticizing him or trying to say that he's not the right goalkeeper for us. What I'm trying to say is that given the 12 games that he didn't have the preseason, and Bobby already explained that since it's a new team, we still have to see. And those things didn't repeat in the last 2-3 games, right? It was the last time we saw in the Arsenal game. So because if we see Robert Sanchez, we also have to see he's playing for Pochettino, who is obsessed from playing from the back. And again, it's not a criticism of Pochettino, it's a good thing. But I said obsessed because even if he's winning it in the 89 minute, it's a cup final, they will still be playing from the back. So in that context, I said obsessed. So that's why it is as good as he is, as Bobby said, in this short stoppage and all of that. Playing from the back, passing from the back, distribution, in my opinion, is as important, if not more important, because we can get hurt if it won't improve. So now, after making this case, after looking into the insights, giving my narrative, it's very early to judge, right? Surely he has the talent, he has the capacity to improve. In the next maybe a month or two, we'll probably come back and analyze if this
Yeah, I think
happens.
we're going to be doing this every international break.
Yeah, so if this issue repeats, that is like the Arsenal mistake. Like we remember the Arsenal mistake because Rice scored, but the same thing happened 3 or 4 times, and that is a lot, to be honest. If we are to eventually compete for the league and Champions League, but again, it's still early days, so that's why as an analyst, you have to cut him some slack, right? And you have to see, because he is improving. Will he really improve and be really consistent? It's like a question mark. We all have to wait and see. And again, he didn't have a preseason, so so far so good, I will say. We all know
So, how would you rate him on a scale of 1 to 10?
6. I'll
Okay,
give him a 6.
6 wins because we have 6 votes participant in the poll here. 100% all voted. Yeah, 6. That's not bad given how many people have watching. So let's go for 6. Let's go for 6 there. I'm gonna put up a poll for the next player there. 6 for Robert Sanchez. I'm gonna go the starting right back. I'm gonna go with Cucurella here, left back, so to speak. Okay, Cucurella. Yep, I'm gonna go with Cucurella there. Let's talk about him. For me, Cucurella is one player that Chelsea fans were quick to judge. And one thing I haven't forgotten, that he joined us at a time that we were so awful. All the fans that do at the time was just to find someone to scapegoat after you can say what became customary at the time, performing badly in losing games, losing to the worst games, worst teams in the Premier League at the time. So yeah, it was him. It was Cucurella. Who was I think at the time we still had who was that we had? I can't quite remember who had at the time that also people point fingers at. Cucurella for me at the time actually wasn't that bad. I get it. It's easy to look back now and say, yeah, even he agreed he had an off the field issue that led to him performing badly. I knew him before he joined this. I knew how many balls he put at the time. He was a second to Kevin De Bruyne in terms of the number of balls he put into the box. But Brighton had no prolific striker at the time. So I'm going to go back to squad and pick. Let's look at his numbers overall, individual numbers overall. He's that good. And I'm going to say this. This is not me saying that Ben Chilwell is not a good player. But I will pick Cucurella over Ben Chilwell anytime, any day. And I'm going to explain why. I know the argument would be that Ben Chilwell carries goal threat. For me, Cucurella is a much better defender, in my opinion, and can create a lot of chances. But more importantly, something that he has that Ben Chilwell doesn't have is his ability to progress the ball. Even when you have 2-3 opposition players on him, he has that intelligence to find passing lanes where you don't know any exist. And that's Cucurella for you. That's Cucurella for you. And he likes to keep it on the carpet 99.9% of the times, and it's usually accurate. You think, yeah, he's done. He's going to pass the ball backwards or he's going to go sideways. He still finds a way to progress the ball and on the carpet. And overall, how I describe it is this: he finds passing lanes where you don't know one exists. To me, he's an excellent player for us. Let's find him and look at our personal stats here. Where is he? Cucurella, we have him here. I think we signed a good player there, and I'm glad we didn't loan him to Manchester United because we'd be in serious trouble now had we loaned him to United or even loaned him to United with, you can say, with an obligation to buy, an option to buy. By now, they'd be talking about buying him, because he'd be doing well for him, even better than Regulian, in my opinion. Touches overall, 92%. Chances created, 51%. 69% aerial duels, 1. As again, he's not the biggest, but boy, he's good aerially. 20% shot attempts, goals, 0. Defensive actions, 96%. So let's go. You can say go to the aspect that people can understand easily. Goals, 0, still in red. Expected goals XG 0.79. That has improved really. XG as in goals on target 1.12. Non-penalty XG 0.79. Shots 3. Shots on target 2. Passing assists 0. Expected assist 0.20. That's improving gradually, but it's still in red. Successful passes 272. Still orange. Pass accuracy 88.3, not bad. Accurate long balls 8 in total. Long ball accuracy 53. I've always known he's best at keeping it on the carpet, and long ball is not his thing in my opinion. Chances created 4 in total. Possession successful dribbles 1. Dribble success 25%. That's 4. Touches 459 in total. Touches in opposition box 9. Dispossessed 1 time. Fouls 1. 8 defending. Penalties considered, we know that, against Manchester City. Tackles 1. 13 in total. Tackles 1%. 65%, not bad. That's actually good. Duels 1, 36. Duels 1%, 58%, not bad. Also above 50%. Aerial duels 1, 8. Aerial duels 1. Aerial duels 1. Aerial duels 1, 8 in total. The success percent is 53%, not bad. Interception 7, blocked 1. Recoveries at 31 in total. Possession 1 in final third 1. Dribbled past 8 times. Yellow cards 4 in total. Discipline, in sense of discipline, he has an issue there. 4 cards in total. So he's 1 away from suspension. Because this is 22-23. But for me, overall, let's go per 90 minutes. Not bad. Pass accuracy 88.3 per 90 minutes. That's not bad, really. Successful passes 50.3. Not bad too. At least 50%, above 50%. Chances created 0.74. For me, I think he's a good player in my opinion, and I think he can only get better as long as he plays consistently. But let's hear you. How would you rate a Cucurella? For me, I'd go this season alone, because we're on 23-24. I'd rate him I'd give him a 7. But let's hear you, Jersey.
Yeah, it's interesting. So
So
Bobby, please, you go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Bobby. Go
no,
ahead.
go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
go ahead. I thought he was going to call me, and
No,
I
it's
mean,
okay. You
Go
can
ahead,
go.
Bobby.
You
Go
can go
ahead. Go
first,
ahead. Yeah.
please.
no,
It's
I
my
mean,
pleasure.
I didn't want to cut in. I was anticipating coach calling me, but it's fine. I'll just continue to keep the show
Yeah.
flowing. Listen, let's keep it 100. Cucurella last season was awful. He cost us a lot of
Mhm.
games through his mistakes. But however, Cucurella has proved that sometimes you need to give a player a season. He had issues, his head clearly wasn't right, which affected his performance. And it would have been a terrible mistake if Chelsea had indeed succumbed to that emotion or that judgment of him on his first season and sent him out on loan to Man United when he was on the cusp of improving his performances like he has now.
Mhm.
At the moment, Cucurella has justified his price tag, justified his reputation, and is beginning to live up to it. He is a player that, in my opinion, still has some development to do, a little bit. But at the moment, I would go as far as to call him our best left back. I really will. He's much better
I
than
think he
Chilwell.
is. I would take him
Um,
over Ben Chilwell anytime, any day, even before
yeah,
this season. But go ahead.
and of course, because of the added physicality, he's better than Martin. Although Martin is a better finisher than him, but he trumps them on that card. Look, Cucurella is nailed into Chelsea now. I mean, there's no question of him not being in the squad, in the team, whatever. But this is why you've got to sometimes let players have that one season. All these Jackson haters, oh, Jackson can't do this, can't do that. I think he's going to be the same. He needs that time. Maybe Caicedo may need that time. Maybe all of them that are just coming in the first season are going to need this season find their rhythm, find their feet, find their form, find their relationship with other players, and we'll start to see them flying by the next season. I'm all for Cucurella, really, and if you want me to rate him, I'll give him a 7.
I'm giving him a 7 too, in my opinion. But let's say you, Jersey. I think it's not his thing. I don't know. I'm just happy we didn't loan him to Manchester United. I'm just happy because wow, how look, the manager now trusts him so much that even on the yellow, on a very high tempo encounter against Manchester City, he left him on the pitch for 90 minutes. That's how much the manager has come to trust him. That shows you the manager has taken his time to look at him and realize we have ourselves an excellent player. But let's hear you, Teresi. Cucurella for you.
Yes. So it's interesting, right? Because if we see and analyze, and of course we are talking about this season, so we don't have to go and look into the last season. But of
Mhm.
course, just for comparison and to see his progress, of course, if we see the last season, no one would rate him, right? Or even contemplate like giving him a rating or even having him in the team. So that's a
Mm.
testament to Cucurella and Pochettino and the coaching staff, that how the so many players have improved. Uh, so yeah, it's even on the deadline day when he was linked with United, I was like, okay, I was actually fine for that he's going. Like many fans, I was not so confident in him in his abilities moving forward. So yeah, we are all pleasantly surprised. And some of his best games he played as a right back, so it showed his versatility and how he can adapt or he can be useful. And in my opinion, his best game was against Arsenal. That was really a great performance from Cucurella, and like it totally nullified Saka. So not a criticism, but as we all know that all these players are still in development and integration. We know that his strong attribute is like he's strong with the duels and usually times his challenges well, right? But when there is like missed time or an attempted tackle that is intercepted, then I would say that what he needs to improve, that the attacker or the opponents are quick in the movement and they can easily pass him by him. So that is one thing that I have noticed. So yeah, I mean, of course, the team is not perfect, but he has improved and he has shown a great temperament, composure, and his abilities, and his also a work rate. Like with Gallagher, we'll talk about all the other plays. Work rate is also second to none. So I'll give him a 7. Yeah, and I believe his ceiling is still higher.
Yeah, his ceiling is still higher, and I think he's an intelligent player. And if it wasn't for that lame attempt, I think he should have one goal by now. But that will come. That will come because he makes intelligent
He had
runs. And
two opportunities.
yeah,
One against Brentford, if you remember, in the
okay, yeah, yeah, exactly. And if you
and then
watch,
Tottenham in the
yeah,
Tottenham game. Yeah,
yeah, and if you watch the City game, because he was in advanced areas on several occasions, you could see that he has more to his game and he's fearless. And there's something I don't know, Jerry, if you've been paying attention. He comes across as erratic. He comes across as unorganized in terms of his approach, how he comes with players, but he's effective. He's you can say he's brilliant at doing it. He unsettles opposition players with that erratic approach, if that, for lack of a better language. The way he comes at you, he's all over you. Make sure his body is touching you and all that.
And he's one of the leaders in the team. That's what people
Yeah,
fail to notice.
yeah, yeah. And Bobby, when you say lead, he leads by example. He leads by example.
And
More
he's very
importantly,
vocal, and he's very
yeah.
present in the training ground as well.
Yeah, I
He
like
is
him.
a
I'm
leader.
glad we kept him. And Jackson, look at him. Even though he scored 6 goals in total, people are still complaining. For me, yeah, Cucurella, he deserves a 7, and I think I agree with that. And here, Vic is saying, and Cucurella made 4 key passes in 6 games. That's nearly 1 per game, and that's not easy. He's improved, and I hope he continues to improve. In my opinion, thank you so much. I just looking at something, telling me my front door was opened, and yeah, I'm the only one at home, but I've seen who's coming in. So let's see what else we have here. Let's go for you can say most likely. If if Pochettino, from what I've seen, in my opinion, if he has to start with a 4 at the back and has to choose a 2 centre backs, I think let's go with who we think. I think it still be Thiago Silva and Disasi. But let's go with Thiago Silva. We'll still do everybody, all the players that's gotten the opportunity to play. We still rate them. Thiago Silva. Here's something I'm going to say. I've heard people complain that he's too old and is becoming too slow. And I've always argued, look, he's so intelligent that let's say it takes him 6 seconds to pass the ball. But by the time he passes the ball, as long as one of his teammates makes a decisive move, he displaces 4, 5, 6 opposition players with a single pass. So that's why I've taken my time to analyze that. I'm not. You haven't seen me complain about again his lack of pace or his age, and that's because I've always known he's a special player. And as long as he can still move, he was still one of our best players. He leads by example, but I think he's starting to be even more vocal nowadays. And I noticed that when Reece James was getting ready to take that free kick, excellent free kick that Edson saved. Here's the thing, Thiago Silva, his intelligence makes him, you can say, because of his footballing intelligence, even the quickest player on the pitch cannot run him, and that's because you wouldn't even get a chance to race against him, let alone outpace him, because he reads the game so well and is always at the right place at the right time to stop you from doing the damage from his team. What a player he is! For me, I'd give him an 8.5 in my opinion. I get it. We've seen, you can say, I haven't seen too many mistakes from him actually this season overall. And thank goodness we don't have European assignments that you can say usually leads to players getting exhausted or maybe burnout. I'll give him 8.5 in my opinion. We still need him. But unfortunately, this will be his last season. I think we should learn to do without him. Wow, what a player he is. But let's hear you, Jerry Z, before we go to Bobby again.
Wow, talking about Thiago Silva, I have to raise my game and my analysis. What a player, like amazing player. Age, of course, we should not even consider age in any field in life. If person is doing good, why should we have age bias? You know, or yeah, if someone is great physically, fit, especially in the sports, we should only this should become an example than a criticism, right? It's even if like Ronaldo, I'm just saying, bringing him as an example, or Thiago Silva and other players who are near 40 and still like doing at the highest level. It's a great testament. It's also like I have, because I've been analyzing health as well. So generally, like people and the sportsmen with better diet, lifestyle, and everything, some of the individuals have really are able to now play the game at not just football, other sports as well, at the later part of their life. So it's a good thing. It's if anything, it's a good thing. It's a motivation for the young players to carry on. Even Harry Kane last year, on Sky Sports said that he would like to play till at least 36, 37, because now he feels he's at his peak and he will improve further. So I do believe all of that with how players are looking after themselves. So this is up for his how good he has managed himself physically. And now if we talk about Thiago Silva, I mean, his ability to read the game is unparalleled, right? So this is his biggest attribute, in my opinion. And this season, apart from Tottenham game, I believe, in most of the games he has played well. And there was just one incident. Sorry, I said incident. One occasion where he was involved in making the mistake for the goal. I forgot in the earlier part of this season. So he consistently anticipates opponents' movement and intercept passes with remarkable precision. So this is the trait that no one possesses right now in Chelsea, and even a few players can match. And even if we talk about the age, I haven't seen that aspect that I can see as an analyst or an observer, apart from a few instances here and there. That is normal. A few, I haven't seen that. So he's composed, elegant ball playing center back. So, and his composure on the ball is also a standout feature. So what he has done in the last few years, I think he's still same and even trying hard. And he has played most of the games for 90 minutes, right? So we can see that. And Pochettino trust in him. And he has also said, I think in last week in one of the interviews, that Pochettino helped him, although he was already great physically and his performance and his training.
Well, he's so humble. He's not going to say that. Yeah, though you say, but go ahead.
Yeah, so he has further enhanced his training and fitness. And although having said all of that, because of course I'm like a avid supporter, but as an analyst I have to talk about it. So, and I said what it is. You know me, I try to say what it is. I could be wrong at times, but I try to say fair and square, and to the point, and not with any bias. But moving forward, of course I think this will be his last season, in my opinion, and perhaps I don't know when, but Chile and so will be integrated, and unfortunately you can say that Silva will be phased out slowly, but maybe not if he keeps on playing like that. So what I'm trying to say is that eventually, because of the profile of the team with many other players coming back from the injury, maybe Silva can play this season, the most of the season, but eventually I think this will be his last season.
Unfortunately, and just quickly in my mind, I think the most quick player to take on that mantle of leadership for that back line is Chile. He's another intelligent player, as intelligent as Thiago Silva, the same style in my opinion. But go ahead if he has more to add to that. If you have more to add to
no,
that.
Sir. So it's terrific. It's a blessing for us, I would say. And although he's one last thing is that many people complain. I don't know. People are so quick to complain. He's not the captain. I already anticipated that Reece James would be the captain. Why? If you recall, I told you before the captaincy was before Reece was named the captain a week or two before. I said because looking at the profile of the team, how they're investing in the youth, and how this is integral moving forward. Everything is circling around the youths. In that context, as an analyst, I thought Reece James would make the perfect link for having a young captain for them, and of course because it's his last season, I believe, as a player, so he's already a leader, right? So they want to have a captain who could start already working, not someone who would transition as a captain. So that was also taken so negatively by some of our fan base. He's there, he's well respected, he's a leader, but I think it was only right for Reece James to be named as the captain, although the injury is of course a question mark, but that's another topic.
Yeah, and look at this. Surprise! He has not been dispossessed even a single time. Wow. Dues won 69.9% per 90 minutes. Area Dues won 75.0% per 90 minutes. He's been excellent for us, and I'm glad. Some say we signed him a little too late. I signed him. I'd say we signed him just in time, honestly, because he's that sort of player. It just seems as if the older he gets, the better he becomes. And that's the way I see it. Bobby, let's hear your rating for Thiago Silva. In my opinion, I think 8.5. But let's hear you. If you differ, we may well have to use the poll.
Yeah, I mean, Thiago Silva is just, he's a diamond, isn't he? I mean, he's such a class player. He's a leader. And at this point in time, he's very, very important to Chelsea with the developing players around him. Look, I think the reason why sometimes people are negative about him is out of concern of a succession plan for him. We are
Mm-hmm.
afraid of how reliant we are on this 39-year-old. And I personally believe that if Chelsea do manage to qualify for the Champions League, they're going to extend his contract by another season just to help the team in that competition, and certainly in the World Club Cup that we're going to um, um, in 25. So he may not be done yet. A succession plan is crucial, but in terms of what he's giving the team now, what we wanted him for as a mature head, an experienced head in a very inexperienced team. Who will succeed him? Well, people are talking about Badia Shield, perhaps. But remember, Fofana isn't really that type of player, but he might be made to be that type of player to preserve him from his consistent injuries. So I don't know. There are players there to succeed him, but I feel he's such a commanding figure in this team that should Chelsea qualify for the Champions League, they'll keep him on for another season. I can see that happening, and I wouldn't object to it at all. So for me, 8 out of 10. The only reason I haven't joined you in giving him 8.5 is the fact that he's a player we're trying to find a replacement of, and that's going to be very, very, very big shoes to fill indeed.
Yeah, for your guy, for your boy, this C, who epitomizes you could say your ideal defender, given his build and everything, how powerful he is and how good
Yep.
he's on the ball overall. I think for a player of his height, honestly, I think he's usually good on the ball, in my opinion. And Chelsea fans were quick to start judging him, but I knew him
Who?
before we signed him. But I'm looking at him up close. I don't even know I didn't know he's as close again as good as he's shown to be. This is a season excellent player and can only get you can say get better. He's
Oh,
you
for
can say
sure.
the same argument we made for Sanchez applies to him. He didn't have preseason with us. Had
I,
to get into be brought into the fold immediately because we had injury issues at the time. He's done well, really. He's done really well. Look at this, shooting. I think he's that sort of defender that will get us a lot of goals. Successful passes, you can say that. I'm not again. I don't look at that for our defensive lines because most of them are safer options, except for Thiago Silva. Pass accuracy 91.7%, accurate long balls 1.6 poor in that department. Something else here. Aerial dudes
good.
one. Yeah, shocking. I'm not shocked really. 70.6%, and it's green.
Good.
His height, and he's making good use of his height. But Bobby, let's say you this
Good.
see how would you rate him?
I am a Disasi fan. I really am. I
And I
think we
don't
have a
know,
lot
right?
of. No, I am. I am for sure. We
No,
have a
I know,
lot of.
I know,
We,
I know, I know you
we
are.
have a lot of short-sighted and impatient fans in our fan base. We look at him still settling in, a couple of minor errors and they judge him by it. I think it's wrong and it's very, very short sighted. Desassi is Rudiger reincarnated, full stop. He's going to fill that role. He's already filling that role. He's a leader. He's a good defender. He's physical. He just needs time. He needs time to settle. Look at Cucurella. It's taken him a whole
Mhm.
season. So for this sort of um, hipster judgment that we have. Oh, he's too slow. That's nonsense. I don't think he's that slow. He's not the quickest, but he's not that slow. He's not, he does manage to stay pace with some very quick attackers. Look, I'm all for Disasi. I think he's important to the team. He won't be a succession to Thiago Silva. Of course not. They're two very, very different players in two very, very different defensive roles. But he's always that guy that's going to stand beside a player that plays like Thiago Silva, and he's going to be a brick wall for the defense for sure, 100%. Journey so far, I'll give him a 7.
I think I agree. I give him a 7 too. Even at the time again, I remember. You can argue he joined us and probably was at the time you could say match rusty. Didn't have preseason with us. A lot of people expected him to stop that. The Hayden. So who was that? I think it was Diaz that put it in the back of the net. He hasn't made too many mistakes, actually. If anything, he's been, you can say, at the right place at the right time to save us from conceding. In my opinion, I think he's a good player and can only get better. So I agree, a 7. Now, let's hear you are Jersey Disasi.
Yeah, I pretty much agree. Again, like it's interesting because there's so many similarities between, like, say, not as a player. I mean, how this season went on. Like they have a certain phase in which they were average, they were struggling, and then they came and showed their attributes. So Disasi in the initial phase, like only we have played 12 games. So in the first 6-7, he was very inconsistent, right? But that's normal, right? Integrating into a new team, he made a couple of errors in some of the games that we lost. He was involved in that. So again, it's not a criticism, Bobby. I'm just like recapping as an analyst. So of course it's early days. So I'm just saying that it's not perfect. It's not so smooth for him. But of course, he has shown lately that he is he has the ability. The reason why we bought him. Again, we have to remember that he was preferred over Berdishele in the World Cup as well for a reason. The only one thing, as I was observing the conversation, so I agree with the rest of that, and one thing that, because when you were sharing the stats, so I was looking in Monaco, like he was really good with the long balls. No, I'm not saying that he's not, but so far that's not the case. So of course it will come, I'm sure, because he was really known for his long balls for AS Monaco. So that is not that we haven't seen so far. So again, a guy who can improve. And he is like one of those modern defenders with great with all-round attributes, and also he's physical, which we need, which is very important for our team who lacks the physicality. So yeah, I'll give him a 7 because, as I said in the earlier phase of this this season, whatever we have played, the 12 games, he struggled to adapt. So because of that, I'll give him a 7. But if you see his recent performances, they are really good. So yeah, a 7 would be, I think, just justified.
Yeah, I have to change this vote, Cucurella to 8 because those in the chat thought he deserves an 8. For me, this a 7 isn't bad for him. He's done well, in my opinion. Let's see what else we have in the blue. To forget me, in the house. Big up everyone. Keep dropping the likes on the stream, people. We have 28 likes, but sincerely, we should be doing better than that. Usually, this is not the sort of topic that people are interested in, and this is the international break. But I think this will keep us busy, and it makes sense. Didier Deschamps didn't want to see in his squad until he saw that performance against City. Audition is successful. Big up, coach. Big up to you too, my bro. I've always known he's a good player. And Chelsea players, I think it's become a tradition to judge players quickly and not give them time to adapt or bed in properly. We're quick to decide whether a player is good or not. For Nicolas Jackson, even in the case of Nicolas Jackson, a lot of Chelsea fans aren't paying attention to the fact that he's doing everything right except put away the chances. And it just seemed as if at one point, you could say the criticism got to him and he showed a declining confidence. But I'm glad he's showing regained his confidence, and actually I think he decidedly a game that he will play, he will not score for us. Reece James, I'm not going to even look at his numbers, but maybe we should. Just to be fair, let's look at his personal statistics. I think he's excellent, an excellent player. The biggest problem is he's hardly fit. That's something. That's an issue. Let's look at his numbers even before I talk about him. Look at the 2 games he's played for us against Tottenham, against Manchester City. He was excellent in both games. Boy, what a player! Just my prayer is that he stays fit. Let's look at his overall numbers here. Let's go down. Yep. Expected again. XG on target. Yeah. Let's go per 90 minutes. That's what we're agreed to do. Wow. You see how everything turned green immediately if you were paying attention, Jerry Z.
It
Everything.
looks so good. It looks so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Even though he hasn't played that much, minutes played is just 246 minutes in total. XG on target, yep, he's got goal threat in him 0.08. Then the other one is XG, yep, on target. Yeah, I've looked at that one. Non-penalty XG 0.08. Shots 1.83 per 90 minutes. A shot on target 0.37. All green. Passing 0.37. Assists 0.37 per 90 minutes. Expected assists XA 0.38 per 90 minutes. Successful passes 51.22 per 90 minutes. Yeah, pass accuracy 86.4. Not bad, actually. That's excellent in my opinion. Accurate long balls 3.29 per 90 minutes. Yeah, long ball accuracy 69. And here's something delicious about his long balls. Actually, sometimes he uses the side foot. Yeah. Accurate long balls 3.29 per 90 minutes. Long ball accuracy 6.9 per 2 per 90 minutes. That's excellent. Chances created 2.5 per 90 minutes. Wow. Successful crosses 1.46 per 90 minutes. And Roger have always mentioned that. Cross accuracy 22.2 percent per 90 minutes. Not bad, but I think that needs to improve. Successful dribbles 1.10. He's an excellent dribbler. Dribble success 60%, 60.0%. Touches 87.80. Touches in opposition box 6.22 per 90 minutes. Dispossessed 1.10, but not bad. You could say you should compare that to the ratio of his dribble volume of dribbles attempted. Fouls 0.37, tackles 1.83 per 90 minutes. He was excellent. He dealt with what's his name? He dealt with Doku very well, and I did say it before the game that I'm not concerned about Doku because Reece James is fit. Tackles 1.83 per 90 minutes. Tackles 1%, 55.6, not bad. Dues 6.59. All per 90 minutes. Dues 1%, 60.0. That's excellent. Aerial dues 1.83. Aerial dues 1%, 55.6. That's good. Above 50%. Interception 0.37. Blocked shots, blocked 0.73. Wow, recovery 6.22 per game. Wow, possession 1 in the final third 0.73. Dribbled pass 0.73. He's an excellent player in my opinion. Jersey, let's hear you.
Yes, the best
Even
right
though,
back
but
in the
let me
world.
just quickly. I think I'll still give him 7.5. Just because he hardly stays fit. That's my concern. But let's hear you.
Yeah, so the best right back in the world, in my opinion. And
Yeah.
if you see the stats, it's a great story, right? Because first of all, it's a very small sample size, hardly 3 games, right? Because he just played 3 games, not all of them in the first game. So I think 246 minutes it was mentioned. So it's not even 3 games. Yeah, small sample size, but we already know the player. So that is why it's legitimate to talk and we can make a conclusion because he's not a new player. We already know his pedigree, his profile. So we can see, right, most of the components, most of the arrays or the metrics were absolutely it can't be. It can hardly be better than that. And if the 2 that were in the red, I forgot one of them, and the interception, I assume it has to do with his injury. He's still cautious. So, he won't make those tackles and stuff like that at this moment. So this is amazing, right? So anyone who has still any doubts, they can look into that, and that's why stats and data is important. If you have confusion, if you think something, you need to verify, right? Because this is not something that we made it up. It's something that the player has performed, and this is shown is in his game. So I don't understand one thing, that many people say he's still not as good defensively. I don't know where this is
He
coming
was
from. There's not,
excellent the last game, even against Spurs
this
when he
is
was on the pitch. He
complete
was
nonsense.
excellent.
Sorry to say that. There's
Yeah.
some people say no, he's not good. Gusto is better defensively. I really don't understand this, right? This narrative, and one. So that's why, if you see in many of my talks and in my first debut video, I mentioned Reece James so much. He's most important player for us. He's the captain. He is proper Chelsea. He is the best right back in the world. If he is fit, definitely, I'm sure we will finish in the top four. And why he is further even more important is because the use of left back, right back. Because I have done this research for 5 years. Mauricio Pochettino's most important players are left back and right back, and they
Yeah,
are
the
involved in the
fullbacks.
yeah. So yeah, fullback. So I was just trying to
No, it's the
mention
same
that
thing. Don't worry.
for the,
I mean, yeah.
for the layman. Yeah. So no, you're right. To be more better in my presentation. Yeah. So I take it. So yeah. So they are instrumental, and Reece James, his involvement in the attack. This is something that will be very important, because the way Pochettino plays, this is like, you can say, a cornerstone. I'm sure you guys will notice that, and we have already seen how good he is, but he will be further involved with the attacks higher up on the pitch. So what I'm trying to say is that he is the key with Nkunku, and if most of the squad remains fit, then we will only improve. I'm very sure about that. I've been shy to say that in the past as well. We will improve. We'll be consistent, and I really don't see the teams that are ahead of us that will challenge us. That will be able to challenge us in the 26 games that are remaining. Not all, as I said, City, Liverpool, Arsenal, in my opinion, finish in the third, but fourth spot is there up for grabs, and I'm sure that we can take it. Injuries is the most important, is the most important, is the biggest threat to us. And Reece James and Nkunku, they are significant for us to get Champions League. That's all I can say.
Yep, thank you so much. I appreciate you saying that. And the update Cloten says the squad have enough quality, but we lose focus most times. You could argue, and that's something that's very common with a very young when you have a very young squad with an average age. I'm not quite sure. I think at most 20 or 21. If even that's if it's up to that. But in my opinion, nothing new there. I think they will improve, and with time will learn to manage games, in my opinion. I think that's part of what you're saying. But you said you rate what's your rating for Reece James, Jerry? Sorry.
If you see this 3 games, so I think it's 8. We can see the stats as well. It's an 8. When he's fit, it's 9, around 9, 9.5. So I'll give him an 8.
I think let me change mine. Let me give him an 8. Even though I'm frustrated with the fact that he hardly stays fit, but I think he deserves an 8 in my opinion. Bobby, let's hear you. Reece James. I know we were all so frustrated. We've been so frustrated with him. But yeah, he shows what he's made of, and I'm glad. It looks like we'll find a way to manage his fitness until he recovers, because he's not 100% now. And look how well he's playing and how important he's proven to be for this crop of players, in my opinion. But let's say your real rating for Reece James and why.
No, it's absolutely no coincidence that Chelsea's upturn in performance has coincided with having Reece James on the pitch. Reece James is extremely important to this Chelsea team, to the progress of the team. He is a player that can carry a team. This is how important Reece James is to Chelsea. He is the captain, deservedly so, but he is our best player. It's unreserved. He's the concern we have with him is his fitness, and of course we have now hopefully learnt the lesson that we have to manage this player. We need to manage these people. I'm glad he didn't go for international break, because Southgate is not going to manage him. He doesn't give a stuff about his fitness. He's just going to play him and play him and flog him. And Reece James, being Reece James, who wants to play for his country, will oblige. And this is where injuries come in. This is what they did to Kante. And I can see them doing the same to Reece James, only his Chelsea um, career has to be one of protection. I was so happy. One of the biggest victories for me in the 4-4 draw with Man City was the fact that we pulled him off after 64 minutes. We had that discipline, and we didn't, we resisted the temptation to keep him on the field in order to
Mhm.
give us something from that game. He's a fantastic player. He's one of the best in the world. He's so important to us, and he's the captain. The big question mark with Reece James, as all of us have said, with injury, and because of that, I will be controversial in my scoring of Reece James, and I'm going to score him down, not for any other reason other than that injury threat and the fact that we have to keep managing him. But even still not being fit, he still carries the team at times in games. So I'm going to give Reece James a 7. And believe me, when he's fit, that boy is 8, 9, sometimes maybe even a 10.
Wow. For me, I think I stick. What did I rate him? I'll stick with
We
an
both
8.
said 8. I don't
Yeah.
argue with that, but
No, but
I'm
I get
saying
your
7
argument.
because
I could
it's,
have
yeah.
given it gone for a 9, but I had to go for it with 8, and that's because he hardly stays fit. I agree with you. So Enzo Fernandez, one player also, some Chelsea, some section of the fan base are some fans are questioning why we pay that much money for him. And the other day it was Matt for Law. Let me say his middle name. Put out a tweet questioning why we pay that much money for him, that he hasn't done anything to prove that he's worth that much money. And look what he did after putting out such a ridiculous tweet or post on X. He made sure nobody can respond to it except if you're tagged. But let's start by looking at his numbers. Enzo is an excellent player. I think one of the games we played without him, I think that was when a lot of people realized that actually we do need him. He's not created too many chances. He's not scored too many for us. But yeah, he helps us control games. He's you can say the orchestra we have. But unfortunately, a lot of people don't understand football that much to understand his importance. He's that sort of, you could say, a John Mikel Obi type of player that you don't know his importance until when he's not playing. But let's see. I'll get back to that. Mitchell Boy saying hello to people there. Mitchell, nice to see you again once more. And now Reece James is a 9, and that's only because of his injury. Best right back in the world. I agree, but I've gone with an 8, and we have 2 8s here, so we win. Wouldn't even mind giving him a 10. He's intelligent. He's good on the ball. Good at passing the ball. Good crosses, carries goal threat, and all that. But unfortunately, he hardly stays fit. And to me, that's an issue. And as they say, availability is the best ability. And look at here, Jerry Z, even before going per 90 minutes for Enzo Fernandez, it still looks beautiful. You see that? And yeah, if you go per 90 minutes, I think it's even better. And the
Yeah, I'm
kid, how
looking.
old is he still? He's still just 22. Yeah,
Yeah,
just 22. Yeah, and by 90 minutes, he has goals 0. Yeah, I get it. Expected goals XG 0.24, still high because he had chances where he missed. You can say fluffing all of them, in my opinion. XG on target is 0.21. That's excellent. Actually, non-penalty XG is 0.16. Shots are 2.1 at 0. That's excellent. Shots on target. Yeah, just putting them away is something he hasn't done. Assists 0-0. Expected assists per game 0.15. Yep, per 90 minutes. But we've been awful when he's not been lucky in terms of getting assists. That's because he creates chances and the person that the ball gets to, fluffs it. Successful passes 64.40. Wow, per 90 minutes. Pass accuracy 89.6. That's excellent. Accurate long balls 5.20. That's excellent. Long ball accuracy 7.70.3%. That's not bad, really. Chances created 1.540 per 90 minutes. So the whole thing comes down to those he's creating the chances for. That's why he doesn't have any assists. Yeah, long ball accuracy 70.3. Accurate long balls from 5.20 per 90 minutes. Chances created 1.40 per 90 minutes. Successful crosses 0.60 per 90 minutes. Cross accuracy 19.4. He needs to improve in that aspect. Successful dribble 0.80, not bad. Dribble success 53.3, above 50%, so that's good. Touches 91.60 per 90 minutes. The average is 91 touches per game. Touches in the opposition box 2.30 per 90 minutes. Dispossessed 1.3 times per 90 minutes. Fouls 1.70 per 90 minutes. Penalties awarded 0.10 per 90 minutes. I think his numbers aren't that bad. Position 1 in final third 1.10 per 90 minutes. That's actually excellent. I think he's done well for us. I get it. He hasn't scored goals, but he makes us tick. In my opinion, he makes us tick. In my opinion,
Yes,
but let's hear you, Jerry C. What do you think? Enzo Fernandez, how do you rate him? For me, I'd give him a 7.5.
I'll give him a 7.
Okay,
First, I give my rating and then I'll analyze.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so again, when I talk, I just like to take the whole framework. That's how I am. So Enzo Fernandez, of course, we also have to understand, because what people are saying, and they're kind of disappointed. Not just the journalists, but our fan base it's not divided. Of course, we all love him and they back him, but some of them are not really impressed lately with him. So we can understand that. So let me start. So of course, Enzo Fernandez, to start with, in my opinion, is a world-class player, elite player, 5-star player. As far as the price tag is concerned, it's not us. It's the market. We know it's I don't know which word to use. It's insane and absurd, the amount we have played, not for Enzo or Caicedo, but the way the market is right now. So it is what it is, I'll say. So we probably paid a little bit more, I would say, but it's not that he's not that good of a player. We have seen in the World Cup, in Benfica as well. In the World Cup, he was amazing in most of the games. He had a great World Cup. For a reason, he won the Young Player of the tournament. I followed Argentina, of course, for Messi, so I watched all their games. So he was amazing. So if we see that performance, we haven't seen so far with Chelsea. I'm just saying. So it's not a complaint again. I'm just to be clear. That's why I'm just saying, when people compare that, then and the expectation, the price tag, and his performances in 7 games in the World Cup, it's still not there. So what I'm trying to say, that his skills, his performance, his level, his pedigree is much higher than what it is. Having said that, he still played very well, in my opinion. The reason I gave 7 is because he didn't play to his potential, which is very high. Overall, his games have been very good. In the last 2-3 games, I believe he underperformed in the last 2-3 games. His biggest, as we see the stats, so I'm trying to put a picture. Of course, I cannot talk in all these 20-30 metrics that says. I'm just trying to just to summarize. So his strongest attribute is his passing and through balls, in my opinion, right? Also, it's backed by
his vision overall, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the only thing that we saw, and which is also a weakness, not coming to Chelsea, before Chelsea as well, is his aerial duels and finishing. Because I noted it when you were showing the slides. So aerials and finishing is his weaker link, which, of course, if we recall with our eye test and the games we have seen, it's clear that it's evident. So it's not his strength. So we cannot criticize him for his. He should improve in that department, but his finishing is not to the mark. But what his overall game is, as I described, his passing and through balls, his concentration and the ability to read has been great, I would say. It still needs to improve, and because of the reasons that I have already given. And now, in the last 2-3 games, why I said that his performance was not up the mark, we can see in the Tottenham game. But now to be his lawyer and to defend him, in what 8th, 9th minute, he suffered an injury, I believe, in this Spurs game before the Romero tackle. So he was not fully fit. And even in the last game, I think, in my opinion, he was not fully fit. So that is perhaps, and he has played all the games. And especially Potter and Lampard were very ruthless with him, didn't give him any day off, substituted him. So, and the Pochettino, just to conclude, 2 weeks ago, sorry, before 2 or 3 weeks, when we played Brentford, I forgot something in that time frame, he said that he didn't want to play Enzo or Caicedo, but he had to play them because, if you recall, of the owners or the fans would criticize. So the thing is, I think he is overplayed. He needed rest. Maybe he's over trying a bit, but overall, I'm very satisfied with his performance. I have absolutely no concern on this for this kid moving forward. So as I said, that he still needs to show. He still has a higher ceiling, and that will come. I'm sure he has played very well, and I'm sure that we will see his performances. Overall, I'm very satisfied. So the reason I've given him an average score, I would say 7, is because he has not matched his capacity. So it's a good criticism, I would say. So this is my take.
What's your rating for him?
7.
Okay, a 7. Okay.
So I would like to hear Bobby's take now.
Yeah, Bobby, let's hear you, Enzo Fernandez.
Yeah, I mean, Enzo Fernandez is an excellent player. Enzo Fernandez needs this season to find his rhythm in the Premier League, to integrate with this new team. He is beginning to integrate with part of the midfield, but we're still awaiting one more of the core midfield to join us to form the proper midfield rotation, and that's Romeo Lavia. And Enzo Fernandez is going to be a part of that. Look, the journey has just started for this kid. My concern is, having seen what happened and the pattern of what happened with a player like Mason Mount, my concern is overplaying Enzo Fernandez. You see, in this fledgling, somewhat first season, he doesn't need that. He's more or less carrying a bit of an injury. He's going to play thousands of miles away with Argentina, and they won't spare him. They play him 90 minutes for the 2 games of the international breaks. Then he comes back off a plane, jet lagged, and he's still got to play for Chelsea. We've got to try and get this guy rest time. We've got to get him a rhythm because he's still very young. Somebody once mentioned something about, I think it was you, Jerry Z, about young players, why they get injured, the fact that they're still developing physically. And part of the injury is caused by the physical development. I don't want that for Enzo Fernandez. I think he's going to be a magnificent player. Look, we've got a team here. Spill no bones about it. Chelsea has some exceptional young players that can only gel with time and become an incredible team. It's certain. He's going to be a very, very big part of that. But we've got to use him judiciously. I hate the international break personally. I hate the labor it puts on these players. Enzo Fernandez is being played as if he's a player in his prime, and that's wrong. When you play people like Xavi or Iniesta when they were 27, 28, 29 years old, game in, game out, it's far different to when you're playing a 22-year-old that hasn't even reached his peak. So for me, I will give Enzo an 8, but he's one of those players that will, when it comes to grading with time, be given like 9s, maybe the odd 10 here and there. He's that good, really.
I think I stand with Pochettino, who argued that he's played so much football he needs a break. from the
He
World Cup
does.
to Chelsea straight up, and we had Champions League football and the cup games at the time. He's a good player. I'm not arguing that, but for me, I think the average now they say a 7. I went 7.5. Medium maybe, and Jerezi said 7, right? And you said 8. Well, let's see what others have to say. Enzo Fernandez and Giovanni Jaftai saying for that assist alone, Reece James should get an 8. But this rating is not specific to that particular game. This rating is specific to, you can say all the game is for all the games were played in from week 1 to 12 in total. If it was for that game alone, I'd give him a 10. Yeah, but it wasn't. This is not for that game alone. Hello to you too, Constantine Dan. Much love to you too, brother. Always nice to see you. I appreciate you finding the time to join the show. Jerezi, when you get a chance, share the link to your YouTube channel in the chat so that people don't know about it. We'll go check it out. Chipchilla. That's your ID. Enzo, I believe we should also get 8.5. What? We have two 8.5s. I have a 7.5 and Jersey has a 7. And let's see these overall ratings for season so far. Yep, season so far. Yep, bro. That's it. And yeah, Dante is in the house. Nice. Ken, glad you've seen him there. And then to say that I would give Silva 8.5. Yep, that's what we gave him. You wouldn't 7.5 for you. I think we all agree 8.5, that number for you. Yeah, we know that a few times also Costas goes. We know that, but still, you cannot understate his importance in his leadership. I think the last 2 games he's been actually excellent. Forget the deflection. I'm willing to look beyond that. So for me, Enzo Fernandez, you can say a 7 at this point. And let's hear you if you're in the chat. How would you rate Enzo Fernandez? Let's hear you. Jersey, you've rated him already. Let's go look at Caicedo's numbers. If anybody in the chat changes anything, we'll see. Enzo, actually, we haven't looked at his numbers. I think we have, but let's take
we have.
Caicedo's. Yeah,
we
is
have
this
taken.
Caicedo's? So this is Caicedo's. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead. Were you saying something? Sorry.
No, you just asked if we looked at Enzo's number, so I said we did.
Yeah, per 90 minutes. Yeah, assists. Okay, expected assists and successful passes are 55.41. You can say majority of which are safe passes sideways and backwards. Pass accuracy 91.7%. I'd be shocked if it's anything less than that. Accurate long balls 34.7. I give him credit for his long balls. Long ball accuracy 79.5%. That's yeah, I think that's correct. I test aligns with that in my opinion. Successful dribbles 0.78. Not bad. Dribble success of 50%. That's better than a lot of people. Touches 72.20. Touches in the opposition box 0.45. Dispossessed 0.56 per 90 minutes. Okay, let's see. Fouls 1.4. 2 defending. Okay, penalties considered. We remember that one. Tackles 1.12. Tackles 1%. 62.5%. That's not bad. He's actually done well. Dues 1 for 5.04 per 90 minutes, and dues 1%, 54.9. Not bad. Aerial dues 1.12 per 90 minutes. Aerial dues 1%, 71.4. That's excellent, really. Interceptions 0.78, blocked 0.22, recoveries of 5.37 per 90 minutes. Possession 1 in the final third 1.01 per 90 minutes. Dribbled pass 0.56 per 90 minutes. You can say not bad in my opinion, but I'll go for him. I'll go 6.5 right now in my opinion. But let's see how you Jersey.
My rating or the analysis? So I'll give him a 7. Can you hear me?
A 7. I heard you. Yeah, a 7. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. I thought maybe the microphone was.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I'll give him a 7 because, of course, we have to because you shared the stats. So if you see the statistics, they are pretty good, right? And the reason, again, I have given him 7, not a higher score, is again many things what I said about Enzo would repeat for Caicedo from the price tag. Of course, he didn't play. I mean, we don't have the World Cup to give the comparison to, as Enzo had, but we had the season with Brighton, and if someone followed him in Brighton, definitely, of course, it's a new team, so we understand all of that, right? So we do have to give him a rating, and we have to talk about him on the games he has played so far. So if we compare to the season with Brighton, it's I won't say it's nowhere near, but of course that was at a different level. That was at a different level. So it's a good thing what I'm saying. I'm saying that again, his potential, his strength, his ability is still like we haven't seen that as a whole. We have seen in bits and pieces but if we see the statistics, it sometimes can lead astray, because, and the reason I've given him 7 is because he had 3 bad games. And I don't know if someone would agree or not, but I think he was one of our, we had a good game against Man City, we all know that, but I think Caicedo was average in that game. If you see the stats and how many times his interceptions and his passes were intercepted, he was he had an average game in my opinion. Of course, his debut, we can cut him some slack, against West Ham was awful, but that was just one really bad day at the office. And there was another game. So the thing is that he hasn't been so consistent. Again, this is not like an attack on our player. You know that I'm so positive. I'm just trying to analyze, because you have asked to analyze the 12 games so far. So it's not up to the mark. Although the stats are very good, they are convincing, but the if you see the stats as a whole, it would look good for most of the players, until and unless like they have some problem with aerial tackles in the goals or stuff like that. So as a midfielder, his stats are all in, most of them are green. But the point is, we have to see where his for example, let me give you an example. In the Tottenham game, when his interception, when he was trying to intercept and he couldn't clear the ball, and Son got an opportunity and he almost scored. You remember that was Caicedo's error. So stats won't show that. So if we recall such incidents, he had such incidents a number of times in this season, and that is why I have given him 7. Overall, he's playing very well. He has shown his ability, but he has to be a little bit more consistent, in my opinion. We all know that he is a great. His attributes are amazing. He's great in passing, even aerial duels, holding the ball, and ball interception. So they are at a higher level generally, but we have seen it in bits and pieces, and that's where it's a good thing for us, because we can further improve. And I'm sure he would as well, because he is playing with a new team, with new mates, and the style of Brighton was really different than what it is at Chelsea. And I'm sure very soon he'll be up for the mark. So because of the reasons I mentioned, because of his pedigree and what we expect from him, that's why I rate him 7 for now.
All right, we're going to have more conversations here, conversation with regards to those we've rated already. Tomorrow we continue with Gallagher, Palmer, Raheem Sterling, and Nicolas Jackson, because the international break is a long way to go. If we wrap it up today, we're not going to have anything to talk about tomorrow, and I have to go get my boy too. More importantly, we're going by how many games are played. Yeah, we're going by, you can say, after week 12, how we rate the players. We're going to rate every player. We still rate Benchua, we still rate Malo Gusto, Levi Colwill, and all of them. Coach Aman, a few words. And Nature Boys in the house. Nice to see you, brother. Do not forget to share the link to your YouTube channel. I appreciate you doing that, so people can go check it out. Enzo, for me, was better last season than he is this season. But as you said earlier, you cannot play a player every single game and expect him to give the same performance every week. He will get tired. I think at one point he was burned out. But even at that, you'd still see his quality. I think this season he's done relatively well. In my opinion, he's the orchestrator for us, and we were seeing how important he is to this team. In his absence, we couldn't play. That was as simple as that. And Cleve Mamuta saying, hi guys. Competition is getting tougher for defenders with the coming in of James and good performance from Cucurella. Now, who do you think must be partnering Silva in the middle between Colwill and Disasi? I think the manager's preference by now should be clear to you. Yeah, I think when Colwell isn't playing in the left back position, he's not going to displace the Sassi, except if the Sassi is injured. He's not going to displace, you can say, the main guy himself in that back line, Thiago Silva, except if he's injured. As long as both are fit, I think the manager's preference right now for the two centre backs in the back four are the Sassi and Thiago Silva. Yeah, until Thiago Silva leaves, that's when we start seeing that. That's when the question comes in now: who pairs the Sassi? Because it looks like the manager likes him. And the Sassi also during an interview said something to the effect of the manager telling me he followed him from his days at what club was that? He mentioned not Monaco, even before he joined Monaco. So right now, I'd say it's the Sassi and Silva, even though I know for me, I think Silva and Badiashile will be the better pairing in my opinion, because Badiashile is excellent aerially, excellent on the ball. He has everything that Disasi has. There's a chance he's actually better aerially. But if anything, you could argue Disasi is more aggressive than Benoit Badiashile. A 7 for Enzo for me. Did well too, but too many missed chances, no assists, not enough impact. Here's the thing. If you were here when we looked at Enzo's when we looked at his numbers, he's created a good enough chance. He's creating good enough chances per 90 minutes. But I think Enzo reminds me of the early days of Jorginho, where he created a lot of chances, but those he was creating the chances for were wasteful. So he didn't have too many assists. You can argue that's the case for Enzo Fernandez right now. But yeah, let's see. But I get that. I knew you were going to say something like that. Same for Caicedo. 7 does his job, which is defending, breaks up a play, interceptions, or passing getting better more and more. You can argue 7 for him is good. So let me just go for 7 for him. Let me agree. I think 7 makes sense for Caicedo, in my opinion. Bobby, let's see how you, Moises Caicedo, how do you rate him, and what do you think of his performance so far after week 12?
Well, Moises Caicedo, the bank had to be broken for him. He's the kind of player you spend over 100 million and you don't think about it. Same with Enzo, to be fair. And a lot that was said about Enzo can be said about him. He's going to be a very major part of this team going forward. He's still settling in. He's still developing as a player, believe it or not, upon all his Premier League experience. You know, I don't regret at all what we did to bring him to this club. I think he was vital. Everybody
It's
knew
worth
he
it.
was,
Yeah.
yeah, everybody knew he was vital. And he is going to be pivotal in terms of the dressing room, in terms of the field. You know, he needs time. He needs time. He needs to be integrated into the team. He needs to have the team comply with his rhythm as one of the midfield orchestrators and play creators. He is actually that Kante replacement that we wanted, and some, because he can score, as he showed us, and he has better physicality, if you ask me. So, wow, how do we rate Moises Caicedo? Well, I'm going to rate him an 8. And the reason I would rate him an 8 is that the potential is so high with this guy. And it's so likely that you just can't get away from it. Yes, he hasn't come anywhere near his best or near his potential yet, but it's coming and you can see it with every game. So Enzo, Moises Caicedo for me has to be an 8.
Okay, Jersey, what was your rating again? Let's see if it should be an 8.
My rating was 7, and the reason I gave the rating is on his on his play so far, right? If we see what he can bring to the table, what we expect from him. So if we compare in that context, I gave him a 7. Of course, he's around 8 or 9, but so far he has not matched that. So this is the way I rank. So that's why I have given him a slightly lower rating.
Yeah, I think 7 wins because yeah, Dante rates him a 7. I rate him 7. You rate him 7. So Bobby's the only one that's saying 8 for him. I think yeah, he's an excellent player. He's not there yet, but he's getting there by the game by each game. And I know we didn't make a mistake. I think he will. You can say in a few years we'll be saying yeah, he's worth everything, every penny that we paid for him. But let's see. Yeah, I agree with you. Caicedo is yet to prove himself. I don't think he needs to prove himself to Chelsea fans, in my opinion. I think he will get there. He's just bedding gradually. You say we're not well rehearsed yet, and that is a factor that can affect every player we have within our ranks. Haven't seen the Caicedo from Brighton yet, so a 6.5, 7 wins, but I think he will get there. Enzo does not really defend. That's where, yeah. He's not. In my opinion, he's not. But sometimes he does. Where he can't. On occasions, he's one ball in the final third. In my opinion, in the opposition area, and but he's not that sort of player you tax with protecting your defensive line, which I argue was one of the mistakes that uh, that Graham Potter made in some games. Defense, that's where he lacks, especially in transition. So cannot give a more than 7. Let's go with again. He helps us run the game, in my opinion, but I understand where you're coming from. Let's see. I am not sure how this is an 8.
So today it's a good feeling that Dante finally agrees with me on something is the rating. So most of the rating what he's giving is exactly what I've given. So
What and
hello
then
Dante.
we yeah, go
Hope you
ahead.
are having a good breakfast in Aussie.
Yeah, didn't we use? I think we used the panel for Disasi, and Moises Caicedo is 7. So maybe we have to repeat the Sassis again tomorrow. But let's stick with that. Let's go with Gusto. For me, quickly, I think we still have a few minutes. I don't want us to do that of Gallagher in a rush. The rotating player. Let's do Gusto here.
Well, Gallagher, you should do it when you have time. I'll talk 15 minutes on him.
Yeah. We're not going to talk about Gallagher today. It will be half and half. We have full time
That's what I'm
tomorrow.
saying. That when you
Yeah.
have time, so I can
Yeah.
analyze. I really want to analyze deeply my
Yeah.
take on Gallagher because I want to really have a deep dive and try to uh, try to give my narrative or my opinion that why like many people are wrong about him. So anyhow,
Mhm.
yes, because you don't have time, so let's quickly go with the ratings.
Yeah, I'll give for me. I'll go for Gusto. I'll go for 6.5, and right now I think that's what he deserves. From me, in my opinion, I think he's good. The talent is there, but he's still very young and he's still developing. And from what he's done so far, the signs are good. I'll go with 6.5. But let's say Jersey, Gusto.
Um, One red card, 12 games I have to keep in mind. I think 6.57 will be fair. I'll go with the 7 because some of the games were really good. So because if we have given like Disasi 8, I mean if the our audience has given this rating, so it will be
Mhm.
unfair. I would say to give Gusto a 6.5. So I think 7 in my opinion would do it.
All right, Bobby. Let's hear you, Malo Gusto. How do you rate him after week 12?
Malo Gusto is a kid. Using Roger's terms, we call him a fetus.
Mm-hmm.
He's missed games due to injury, which is unfortunate. And he's in a very, very huge position in that he is the alternative to Reece James when Reece James isn't there. And he's rotating with Reece James, which obviously are impossible boots for anyone to feel, not least to mention a 19-year-old. So he's done very well as far as I'm concerned. Is there room for improvement? Of course there is. There's massive room for improvement. I mean, clearly, as we saw, he can do better with his goal scoring when he gets the opportunity. And because Reece James is such an excellent crosser of the ball, he needs to learn from Reece and put in better crosses and more crosses. But look, he hasn't done badly at all. This is his first season. Yes, he was with us in pre-season, but this is yet another first season guy in a new team that he's integrating to. So I will rate him a 7. There's room for more improvement, but I think he can achieve his potential for sure.
Would you say, Bobby, just quickly, would you say that we are underrating him, or maybe not value him so much? Because you alluded to that a bit, saying because he's a huge boot to fill in terms of Reece James. Would you say we're underrating him, or maybe undervaluing him, or not respecting him that much because of how good Reece James is? Because Gusto, he's actually done well in the absence. He did excellent in the absence of James. He has 2 assists.
Yes, I mean, I don't think we're underrating him or disrespecting him. In fact, I think we're respecting him in acknowledging the person he's rotating with and trying to give him that time to settle in and acknowledging the fact that his potential is huge. His ceiling is very, very high. This is a kid that has done well. He's not let us down when he comes on the pitch, but he's up against perhaps one of the best players in the world. And I wouldn't say up against him, but he's deputizing one of the best players in the world. So that's pretty big boots to fill. And he's been filling them. Spill no bones about it. The guy's been filling these boots. I give him a 7 because of the room for improvement in his game, for
Yeah.
somebody so young. And that's all. It's just if I said 8, I think that wouldn't be fair to him because that's creating an expectation of a 19-year-old that I don't think should be there. So I stick with the 7. I have every hope and faith in him, and I think he's been an excellent buy.
Yeah, I think he's deserving a 7 in my opinion. JC, I'll come to you in a bit. I'm not sure how this is he got an 8. We could revisit that tomorrow. It remains the same. Let's see what else we have here. Gallagher at 10. We'll get to Gallagher. I will enjoy that conversation. He deserves a whole show. Even Constantine Dante is saying Gallagher is a
Yes,
standalone
yes.
special show. Yes, he is. Yes, Genesee, did you see that one? That's excellent humor there. I love it.
I have made so many notes on that, and even talked to one of the coach, footballing coach, and
mhm.
discuss with him. And I have maybe I'll make a video also on Conor
Yeah,
Gallagher.
we'll get him in a bit.
So
So let's see.
just a
Yeah.
spoiler alert: the people who talk that he's like a runner, a road runner, I will tell you. I will try to talk whenever tomorrow, whenever you do it. That this is wrong narrative. It's so important. His game. It's so important to the
And
team
my
and the
gosh,
midfield.
he's added so much to his games. It's not funny. Whoosh. Okay, 7 for Gusto. Locked his opposition down very well. Not best going forward. That's where he needs it to improve. Here's the thing, actually. In France, he was actually excellent offensively. That my concern at the time when I heard that we were interested in signing him was how well he's going to do defensively. Maybe the key is just still being a bit cautious and still in his shelf and he's still creeping out gradually. But I think he's getting to his own very soon. I think we have a talent right there. And we're blessed to have him. And James has 2 assists, but conceded a couple of back post goals. So yeah, just you had to ruin it for me. Sorry, guys, I'm busy. Not sure I will be able to make Gala show tomorrow. I hope you can. I hope you can. But much love. Always nice to see you. Let's. I think I still have a few minutes. I don't know. Let's talk. We can't talk about Yashile now. He hasn't played anything serious in this game this season. So let's go. Levi Colwill for me. I'll go. Wow, I'll go with 6.5. I think as good as he is in terms of his ball playing ability, I think he doesn't read the game very well for me. Or maybe he hasn't shown the level he did show at Brighton. I'll go for 6.5 for Levi Colwill, in my opinion. We can round up for Levi Colwill, but let's hear you. Do you guys agree, or should we use the poll? 6.5 for Colwill for me. For his lack of ability to read the game very well. Bobby, let's hear you. Levi Colwill. Let's hear you.
I think you're right. Levi Colwill is definitely developing. He is a good defender. Don't get me wrong. I think his pace is important to the team. His physicality is important to the team, but his game
Mhm.
reading, as you say, needs improving. His anticipation needs improving, and it will improve. I mean, how old is Levi Colwill? What is he, 21 or so? He's
I think
very
at most
young.
20 now. I think so.
Oh, well, even
But let me
so.
check. Even if he's 21, he's still very young.
Yeah, well, 20, 21 maximum. He's very young, and this is his first proper season at Chelsea. It took him a while to even get into the Brighton team to be played, which is testament to his development.
Mhm.
So I think 6.5 is justified for him, and his potential is very, very high, and I think he will achieve it. He will be that player, and we're doing the right thing by playing him because he's the kind of player that will only improve by playing him.
Yep. Thank you so much for that. Just quickly here, I said, I think you need to quickly share, Jersey. You need to share the link to your YouTube channel so that Constantine Dante can go check it out and subscribe. Anytime the gala show is, I mean, you're gonna be there. I need that to be you to be because it's gonna be war. I'm quite sure, and that's why I don't think we should be in a rush to rate him. Constantine Dante, you need to be here. How is the breakfast? Yep, 6.5 for 6.5 for Colwell, extra 0.15 for playing left back. You can argue, yeah, 6.75 in your opinion, because that was it wasn't easy to fulfill that role for us. But Jerry, let's hear you leave at Colwell. I'll stick with 6.5, but let's hear you.
I'll give him a 7, and that's because if you see the games, I know he had made some mistakes in the Tottenham game also, and in the game before that, but generally he played well. Why give him a 7 is that because first of all he was playing out of his position. So in
Mhm.
that regard, I appreciated that he had to adapt. He played well, and in many of the games his impact was good. Like the goal which he assisted to Mudryk against Fulham, his long balls have been really good. So because compared to every other player, how we have rated them, how we have analyzed, so I think in my opinion personally, it will be a little bit low to rate him 6.5 just because a few drop in his performances. He played out of position, as I said. So, in that context, I'm also considering that aspect as well. Of course, I think he has great potential, and I'm very high on him. Personally, I like him a lot as a player. Followed him in the under 21 and in Brighton, and I think he'll be one of our more important player, most not most like one of the more important player, like with all the Enzos and Reece James. So he has his part in his team. He is the future of this team, and yes, we can see that he needs development like many other players, but I won't be surprised that sooner than later he'll be integrated and he'll be part of the starting 11. So, because of the reasons I mentioned, I'll give him a 7.
You give 7. I think more people decided a 6.5 for Cowell. Okay, but yeah, 6.5 for me. Bobby 6.5 or 6 and 6.75. So you could say the average is 6.5 in my opinion. What you explained does make sense. 6.7 for Cowell. Yeah, extra 0.15 for playing left back. That isn't easy. Cowell is still in development. Yeah, we know. But we have to go by his performance so far. A 7. We have 3 people giving him 6 plus and 1 person giving him a 7. So let's go with 6.5, in my opinion. Yeah, Jerisi, just remember you have to rewrite how I add your credit. You're not just a panelist. You own your own YouTube channel, and you want more people to know about it. And you want YouTube to get a signal that your YouTube channel got a connection with Chelsea perspective. So if I tag you, mention your YouTube channel name, you even get a notification that somebody mentions you. But that's why I want to say thank you to Jerry C for finding the time to be on the panel with us, and Bobby too. We'll continue this exercise tomorrow. We'll rate Benchy. Well, he's played a part this season, so we'll rate him. Who else? And Badashila, I don't think it makes sense to rate him. He hasn't played any game.
If we rate Badeshile with the game he played against Blackburn, the man of the match performance, it has to be 8, you know. Based on that game.
Yeah, so we don't have to go with that. We have to rate Ugochukwu. Who else? Raheem Sterling, Cole Palmer, Nicolas Jackson, Amanda Bray, and every other player. So with that, I want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you to good say my opinion is 8 defensively and offensively. It looks class. Good replacements for James, not replacement, good competition for James, and rotational player both. But thank you for. I think we can. There's a chance we go revisit this if so many people disagree. But thank you for joining, Giovanni. I appreciate you, and thank you, Constantine Dante. Thank you to the Blue Tiffle Game who was in the house, and thank you to also Chelsea Meet Your Boy. Much love to you. Please go check out Meet Your Boy's YouTube channel and also Jerry C's YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe. But he will send me something that I will add in the description to this description section later on with the link of his channel to his channel and the link to his YouTube channel to his Twitter
Coach.
X
I really
account.
appreciate the support. Thank you so much.
No worries, bros. But this time it has to be a bit more brief. It has to be about your channel. So with that, I want to say thank you to all of you. I appreciate you all finding the time to join the show. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.